Arsenal blew the Premier League title race wide open with a deserved 3-1 victory over a 10-man Liverpool in a chaotic and error-strewn encounter at the Emirates Stadium. It was a tale of three defensive calamities in North London, where Bukayo Saka's simple finish propelled Arsenal into the lead, before Jurgen Klopp's side were gifted a route back into the game via a freak Gabriel Martinelli's own goal. However, Gabriel's blushes were spared when Gabriel Martinelli restored the hosts' advantage thanks to an uncharacteristic mix-up between Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker, who were also culpable for an injury-time Leandro Trossard strike as Mikel Arteta's men moved to within 2 points of the league leaders. Let's go around the punditry world to hear what the experts are saying about Arsenal's 5-star performance against Liverpool.
Football can be cruel and unkind, and did it feel like that was happening until you went again and turned the game back in your favour?
Yes, especially with the performance that we had in the first half, the chances we created, and just with 30 or 40 seconds to go to concede the way we did. It was painful, and I could feel that pain in the dressing room, but I said to them, guys, if we feel sorry for ourselves, they're going to punish us in the first 15 minutes. So we need to react to that, and there's still a lot to play, and we can beat them. And we went out there, we suffered the first 10 minutes, I think, in the second half.
Is that just belief just waning for a little bit?
They changed something as well, and we weren't that organized on the press, and they were attacking open spaces, which is a really bad thing to concede against them. And then we started to control the game, we started to play more in the final sets, and we scored the goals.
So what did they change then, and then how did you adjust back?
Yeah, they changed the shape, and they started to bring another player inside, and we had some problems to deal with that, and they made the change with Gomez and Robertson, so they changed it again, but by then we were already set up and we were better.
Was it a really, really big half-time team talk for you, having played so well in the first half? The players walked up the pitch looking like they'd lost the game, let alone lost the lead.
No, but basically the message was that, and then we knew, against them you're going to have difficult moments, and our body language has to be extremely good today because we're going to suffer in moments. We have to stick together and we have to navigate through those moments. And we've done that, and experiences brings you that. You have to weigh your moment. We were ruthless when we had the chances to put them away as well. And it feels like a big, big win. And it feels like today as well we have connected in a different level again with our people because the atmosphere in the stadium was sensational.
How nice is it to be able to use that word, ruthless?
It is what it takes, The games that we haven't won is because of that, not because the team didn't perform, because especially in the box we weren't ruthless enough. And today we could have paid the price that we conceded, but in the other box we were really efficient.
So you said it feels big. Why does it feel so big?
Because at the moment probably are the best team in Europe. The way they are playing, the way just dominating games and the level that they have. They are an incredible team. They dominate every single phase of play. You have to be on your toes. Every action, they try to play quick, they try to play fast, and you really have to be at your best.
What does it say about, like you say, they look to dominate every aspect. So what does it say about your team that you dominated almost all aspects today?
Yes, that we've come so far, and now it's about doing it consistently. They've done it for 6-7 years, and with the second season that we are doing it at that level, but now we have to continue because if we have everybody available, we are a good team.
I interviewed you before the match, and you said that we're not thinking about the consequences, but honestly, as you stand here now, it must have crossed your mind that 2 points, and we're right in this, 8 points, we're not going to give up, but it's probably too much.
Yeah, but I know that for 96 minutes a lot of things are going to happen. So whatever crosses my mind 2 days before, a day before, even during 10 minutes in the game, anything can happen against this team. And I'm so pleased because that was a big win for us.
And you said that we're a good team if everyone's fit. Everyone isn't quite fit. You lost Saka today. I'm guessing the substitution of Zinchenko at half-time was an injury as well. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we have lost 4 or 5 big players for almost all the season. And today, Zina, let's see how it is. But Thomas as well, Gabriel Jesus as well, Timber, Tomiyasu still away. Some big players, but when I have players like Georgie or Leo, the way they train every day, that you make them play 10 minutes or 96 minutes and look how they do. And that's not a coincidence, it's the way they behave every day.
And lastly, in terms of the title race, game on now?
Well, it gives us momentum, certainly 3 wins in a row, and the way we've done it, we are back on it, and we are really excited.
Thank you, Mikel.
Thank you.
Well, Jurgen, anyone can come here and lose. Obviously, they're a top side like you are, but in terms of that bottom line, the performance levels you expect from your team, did you get those today?
Yeah, in moments. So it was in general not our day. I think that we can really admit that Arsenal deserved the 3 points, even when the circumstances were obviously a bit strange. But it was like it was clear that they go for us. It was similar to the cup game. Let me say it like that. In the cup game, they had even bigger chances. We scored that goal before half time, or they score it. Because having nil shots on target and having a goal on it is a bit strange. But I thought we found a way. But we found in the game we have to adapt in a lot of moments today. So bring players and positions and bring them back after injury. All these kind of things all came together, and then you come here to Arsenal. So a little bit as an explanation. But we found into the game, I thought, all of a sudden we found the right wing. We could use Trent. We had the crosses. We had the situations where it was really close, where they had problems with us. And then second half, if you can keep it open, and I think if you don't concede a second, which was really strange, then Arsenal might become a little bit nervous or stuff like this, and then the crowd is not as ecstatic as they were after the 2-1, and then everything can be different. And the red card didn't help, obviously. We had to change a lot. We tried a lot. We had to make changes. Trent cannot play 90 yet, and so all these kind of things. In the end, we conceded 2 more, lost 3-1, and the player, that's obviously the opposite of what you want.
This season you've been really good when you've had injuries or absences for any reason. You've been really good at kind of making up for that absence. Maybe for the first time today, did you really miss the players? You were without Salah, Szoboszlai, even Conor Bradley with Trent maybe a bit out of rhythm.
We miss them always. There's no difference to today. We miss them always. It's just you have to find a way through. If this game ends 1-1, what do you say then? And that's absolutely possible. On all accounts, it's absolutely possible that you get a point here because of the way we conceded the second goal. And it's 1-1, and if we stay in the game, and then really in that moment with the changes, then we can turn the game into our direction. But so, like this, it gave them all the momentum and us the opposite, and that obviously against such a strong opponent like Arsenal is then really difficult to turn around. But we didn't miss the players more than before. We always missed them.
But coming here, and certainly you said before the game you wanted a more dominant performance than you gave in the cup. Would it be fair to say that didn't happen, and why didn't it happen?
No, because we didn't play enough from the start. We struggled there a little bit. We weren't calm enough. The man orientation of Arsenal, they went for us. In the end, we had still possession. That was fine. We just didn't have the finishes, or enough finishes. But it was close. So I said when we found Trent on the wing, when the balls flew in, so that Arsenal was under pressure. But in the end, it doesn't count because it's not even a corner or whatever. So, but I've really thought in the first half, step by step, we found into the game, and that's all right. So you come here, and on the day when somebody comes to Arsenal and can guarantee before the game that he will win and smash them, then I would be really amazed. But so it's all right. As I said, a lot of things came together today in one game. Sometimes you have that, and then you take that, and you go from there.
And I know it's much easier for me with hindsight, but you left Núñez out, brought him on. You said that was part intensity, part tactical. But on reflection, did you miss what he brings from the start today?
Yeah. Maybe, but that was not our problem. But I understand that. You're right. It's easy.
What did you think the problem was?
That we didn't play enough football. So like we have a completely new right triangle. That's a little bit. Then we need to get used to that. We were not really involved in the game enough. We didn't use Trent in the way we wanted him to get used, because we wanted Trent today more on the wing in that situation. That Joey is in. At least we have a better protection with Joey than in the centre. So many things what you think through before the game. That could have worked better, but in the end it didn't, and that's a wonderful thing. Everybody knows now better, even I. But would I do it again like that? Yep.
Lastly, is context important here? I think it's your second Premier League defeat since Man City back in April, and it's at Arsenal. So, yeah, and this is the second one.
Yeah. But you said Man City.
So Man City in April, you lost. Yeah, and then it's Tottenham in here. So what?
Last season.
That's what I'm saying. It's all very good. It doesn't feel great now.
No, I am. It's not. There's nothing. So we can. You ask me about this game. We speak about this game. The general situation. What want to hear from me? That I'm not over the moon. I don't think we couldn't have played better today. Yes, we could. But I take that. That's what it is. That's life. You take that and work with it, and that's what we will do. A lot of things were against us today. Come on. It was again the situation. This referee gave me a red card against Man City. Maybe it was the game, I don't know when that was. A red card for a wrestling situation, Bernardo Silva and Mo Salah. Today, same situation with Diogo Jota. That I didn't get a red card shows just I'm matured. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Then holding Havertz on Konate
First yellow, yeah.
No, yeah. And then Ibo is there with the arm as well. Havertz goes down, yellow card. Then he has to give him a second yellow. Gabriel is doing the same with Nunes. No yellow card. So it's not about, we should have played better, but everything went in these moments against us. That's just decisive for a game like this. You play with the center. We changed before already. Then all of a sudden we have, whatever you want, Thiago or Maka on a centre-half position. That's not great to turn a game around. So it helps if you have the players in the right positions, and then you can do things. It's just how it is. Again, we lost the game, so that's fact. The way, strange. Could we have played better? Yes. Will we have to play better? Oh yes, definitely, and we will. I'm not in doubt about that. But for now, we have just to admit, congratulations, Arsenal. Well done, well deserved, and we keep going.
A lot of love in that room, a lot of love right now in the Arsenal dressing room as well, I think. It is a huge swing in their favour. Any dispute that they deserve that today?
Not at all. Obviously, when a team dominates a game like this, you're always going to bring the question whether that good or Liverpool that poor, because I can't remember being, Liverpool playing that poorly. From the first to the last minute, the example is Van Dijk. Obviously, we're not used to see him like this, very sloppy, confident, arrogant at time, and that challenge on the second goal, you don't expect that from someone of his stature. So I think it's a game that you have to, you turn the page, you don't think about it, because it will not happen again during the season, hopefully. But that's a big game for Arsenal. The performance was clinical today.
A couple of big calls from Mikel Arteta, playing Jorginho for the first time since November, playing Kai Havertz with the absence of Gabriel Jesus. Just how did Arsenal's shape cause Liverpool problems, Gail?
It's perfect. I think we called it from the beginning, before the game. Zinchenko, we called the fake number 9s. The runs, obviously Saka being always decisive, but I would say that Arsenal played really well, and Arteta out of 10, I think is a 10 out of 10. The selection, even to take off Martinelli and Trossard coming in. Again, you can see Van Dijk is very late. Either you commit or you stay on your line. He's doing none of it. 50-50.
It just creates a little bit of uncertainty for the centre-half in the situation.
Of course, but that's the whole plan. That's what they want. Playing without a number 9, this is what they want. So when you see the formation and the system that Arsenal is using, as a centre-back, you need to feel that. You need to either go for it and you commit and you go and challenge the ball, or you stay on your line.
But he's obviously got that wrong, hasn't he? Because if you're going to go, you got to get some sort of contact on the ball or make a tackle. But he ends up in no man's land. I think this is really poor defending, an experienced player just selling himself like that. But if even though I think you've got to drop back a little.
Yes, but if you see on the 3 goals, you cannot say that he's...
Just keeps himself onside. Just need to point that out because of Konate being the last man here, even though Saka is ahead of Kai Havertz when he strikes.
Yeah, no doubt, obviously we can see there, and obviously he's good play, following up the play, and he gets his rewards. But in terms of the intensity from the first whistle to last from Liverpool, in possession and without, I can't believe how bad they were. But again, credit to Arsenal, they turned up and were at it. But Liverpool defensively, the goals they gave away, like a pub team defending.
Well, it was arguably pub team defending from Arsenal just before half-time. Did that feel like a real lifeline at that stage, Jamie, for Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool was so fortunate to go in at 1-1. The 2 best chances they had in the first half came from long balls. Early on, Van Dijk almost put Jota in, and then a minute before half-time. I mean, brilliant from Diaz, but again, we'll get to Van Dijk's mistake. Like, you're looking at defenders, Saliba and Van Dijk, they're so powerful, so strong, but they're obsessed with using the body. Just deal with it, and listen, it gives Liverpool a lifeline, and Jorginho mentioned going in at half-time about it didn't affect them too much, but it would have been a bit of a hammer blow for them, and a little bit unfortunate, of course. Where it comes off Gabriel, it'll go down on the record books, an own goal from him, but it's his mate who's made the mistake instead of just dealing with the situation. But, I mean, Liverpool didn't deserve to go in level.
But it did feel like they started the second half on the front foot, certainly better than they ended the first half. So can you explain to us what happens with what just looks like a pretty routine ball from the back?
I think it's the mistake that, you know, a really big mistake that you probably make once a season, and it's just happened. Van Dijk's just got to head that. And then it's that thing again about using your body, trying to let it go through to the goalkeeper. Yes, can the goalkeeper do better? Van Dijk's just got to head it. Don't complicate it. Don't let it bounce. I mean, we're talking schoolboy stuff here. We really are. He's just got to head that back to Konate.
Does the nudge put him off? Does it
No,
push him
he's
into
not letting
Alisson?
it bounce. Listen, Martin, it nudges him slightly into the goalkeeper, which I then think puts Alisson off slightly. Well, Martinelli's well within his right to knock them, try and clash them together, and that's always got a chance of happening if you let a ball bounce. As I said, this is not about playing at the top level. That's something that you learn at the bottom level of football. As a defender, just deal with it. But listen, the two of them have been fantastic, not just for Liverpool for 4 or 5 years this season. I think that's why Liverpool are back where they are, is because of the performances of those two, especially. But as I said, that was a howl.
Is there any question it's a foul?
No, I don't think so. But again, there's lessons in fairness to Martinelli. You make a good ball out of a bad ball. You chase it, you hunt him down. He made it awkward. But again, I think defenders are complicating the game now. I think just head that ball. It really is straightforward. Then when defender, and he's been like that from the start of the game. Again, with some of us passing. Everyone, I know we like players being kind of laid back and casual. I don't. I think that he's got to switch on, smell the danger, just head the ball. How many times you set a centre half? Just head the thing. He's a big, strong boy.
Is it the biggest surprise because of who we're talking about here? We're talking about two of the very best we've seen in their positions in the Premier League.
Yeah, and also, you know, if you take the 3 goals conceded, you can't really say that he made a proper mistake. But on the 3 goals, he's always there and about. So it's just one of those games, like Jamie said, you make the mistake once in a season and then you turn the page and it's finished. But on a big game like this, you expect those players to perform. He didn't, and that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, Van Dijk's been involved in all 3 goals. He's made poor decisions, basically. On the first one, he stepped in when he should have just stayed where he was. On that goal, he should just head it. And on the 3rd goal, he's got to come across.
Let's have a look at that, then.
Yeah, I mean, Konate's gone off. So, you know, the defender down. But, I mean, there's very few weaknesses in Van Dijk's game, but this is one of them, sort of not just today. He has a tendency to hold his position in situations like that rather than getting across, and he almost says to the player,
Go on.
have a cross, have a shot. I mean, I go back to probably a few years ago, the Champions League final against Real Madrid, where he gets dragged out to the other side and he just let the fella cross it.
Tross, I can't believe his luck here. If you look, Tross is looking up and thinking, someone's going to close me on. He can't believe it. He's almost reluctant to shoot. And the fact he gets a slight deflection, the keeper's got to save it. But again, I go back to look at him here. You've got to come alive here. Smell the it's called smelling the danger. And it's almost, am I too good to kind of dive in or make a lunge at it? Oh, too little, too late. I blame him for the 3 goals. And he's entitled to have a bad game, of course, but to give up 3 goals in such a big game, you know, that'll cost him there at the end of the season.
There's no doubt Arsenal deserve to win this game, but the second mistake, the big one that you talk about, the game just felt like it was, I wouldn't say petering out, there was a long way to go, but it felt like Arsenal were just sort of, where are they actually going to get a goal from here? And Liverpool were better, I would say, second half. Really poor first half, just being the normal sells, if you like. Not great second half. And that's why that was such a killer blow, because as I said, it just felt like Arsenal probably starting to think, Liverpool 1-1 here. Liverpool are starting to come into the game, so it was a hammer blow.
But even at the start of the game, we're looking at the goals here, we're highlighting the goals, obviously that's the most important part, but in general play, Liverpool were playing like little tippy-tappy football at the back, just casual, the goalkeeper kicking balls out, Gomez going into midfield, getting it, but keep going back to it, going, no, this is not like... The reason we think Liverpool have been really successful is they're quite direct and they do things quickly and they know their game. Whereas today they almost changed their mindset. I felt watching it going, did they realise how important this game is?
Did you feel comfortable? I felt that would happen that first half. Not Liverpool would be so poor that Arsenal, they're almost so desperate. You see the interview there. They almost had to win this game to get sort of back in the race, and you could feel it at the start of the game. And I'm watching Liverpool thinking, and I know the game's, I wouldn't say change, but it's become more technical. Teams play out from the back a lot more. I get that. But that was a game to actually get into your front players for the first 10 or 15 minutes. Forget what we're playing now, modern football, it was different when we played. Get it into your front players. Don't get caught playing around the back. And he just played into Arsenal's hands.
The inquest will continue, as will the delight for Arsenal. Absolutely joyous.
Eventually a very tough day, yeah, definitely. I think the 2-1, you know, I take full responsible for that, but that's a big turning point in the game. Should have done better, should have made a better decision there. And it hurts. It hurts for me, and it hurts for obviously the rest of the team, and you know, especially for me. And but listen, I think, like I said, there's a big turning point in the game. Before that, especially after the break, you know, we were so good. We were having opportunities. We were dominant. I think the atmosphere started to become a little bit more nervous.
Did you sense their belief drain a little bit?
Well, I don't think belief, you know, because in the end of the day, Arsenal's a very good team and they will always try to stay in the game. But we were very dominant, especially in the second half. And obviously, the turning point, like I said, you know, is my responsibility. I should just try and clear it. I make the split-second wrong decision, and unfortunately, these things happen in football sometimes. But that doesn't take away that it hurts. And you know, obviously, these things don't happen too many times in my career, but it's a tough one, and I will recover from this because I will learn from things that doesn't go well, but I will take the responsibility.
I mean, it's not my job to make excuses for you, but there was a little bit of a nudge just before he gets in, but it sounds like, you know, you obviously have high standards, you expect a lot from yourself, and you wish you'd done something different.
Well, 100%, you know, obviously it's a very, you know, physical game, you know, and you see that, and I'm not looking for excuses. You know, it's a on the highest level, it's a split-second decision that you make, and I choose to let the ball bounce, try and put my body in between, and eventually, obviously, with, you know, that little, I think Alisson touched me a little bit, and that's why he couldn't clear it properly. I think that's, you know, things happen, but like I said, I take full responsibility for this, but I'll try to make sure these things don't happen again.
What did you make of the overall Liverpool performance? I know you were saying at that point at 1-1 it was good, but first half looked pretty difficult for you.
Yeah, but you know, you play here. Obviously, I think for every team in the league, it's a tough place to go to, and you have to stay in the game, like we did, for example, in the FA Cup, where we obviously were a lot under pressure. They created chances, but we stayed in the game and find a way, and that's how the first half went as well, in my opinion. You know, they tried to drag players out. They try to get in wide spaces and in order to let you run around, and we did well, especially towards the end of the first half, in my opinion. And then how we started the second half was outstanding, in my opinion. And then obviously the turning point, like I said before, is a shame.
Does this also need the perspective of you're still top of the Premier League?
The first defeat since September, I've heard just here, and obviously it hurts. Losing hurts, and especially with the way we did it today. In so many ways, it was unnecessary, but like, you know, we take it game by game, and now it's obviously what I said before. It hurts. It hurts for me, you know, seeing all the fans coming all the way down, and the whole club. You know, it's not nice to be involved in mistakes, and but I will work hard and be back, and there's no doubt about that. And make sure these things don't happen anymore. And next opportunity is on Saturday.
Thank you for coming out.
You're very welcome.
A lot of players wouldn't. Thank you.
Gary Neville's joined us. We'll get his take in just a second. What's your take on that, though, Jamie? He's fronted up.
Yeah, and listen, fair play to him. I think some people may look at it as a goalkeeping mistake. I think most of us in here probably looked at Van Dijk's mistake. But you could argue, you know, the toss of the coin, and I think he's not just coming out and fronting up. He's almost taking responsibility and just with the goalkeeper. It's all on me, you know, look at me. And listen, he's had a bad day. It doesn't happen too often, not just this season, but over the years since he's been at Liverpool. So he's allowed one.
If the initial mistake is Van Dijk's, do you think the goalkeeper has a major role in it as well?
Yeah, I always think when the goalkeeper's coming onto it, and I always think when the sort of Dijk and Alisson, they've been outstanding all season, so they're allowed one. And just today, it summed up Liverpool. That edge wasn't there.
Why not, Gary? What do you think was missing from them?
Edge. I think sometimes when you get told all week that Arsenal are going to be out the title race, you can go 8 points clear. You sort of, Arsenal had that little bit more intensity in the crowd, on the pitch, on the sidelines.
And sometimes you can't
get that momentum quickly, and Liverpool were slow to the blocks and never really recovered.
Did that level of performance surprise you?
From Liverpool?
Yeah.
I was disappointed what Liverpool had today, but again, if you step back, it's their second defeat, so it has to be. I'm pretty sure they'll react and win the next couple of games. They're a top quality side, but I still think we were expecting them more today. But again, instead of being maybe too critical of Liverpool, as poor as they were, you have to give that bit of credit to Arsenal. Maybe because they had to win it, maybe they just wanted a bit more.
There was a desperation about Arsenal. It felt bigger to Arsenal. That's not so much a criticism of Liverpool, but it felt almost like they had to win. They knew if they'd have lost, they'd have been out of it. And I think that's why we probably saw some of the scenes at the end of the game. And you saw Arteta celebrating, run up and down the line. It felt huge for Arsenal. I think that was just, you could see that in the performance. But I think we've got to remember as well, Liverpool are missing a couple of players. Now, everyone misses players. But the players that came in don't have the same sort of athleticism as them. When you think of sort of Gakpo and Gravenberch coming in, decent players, but when you think of Szoboszlai being out, Salah being out as well, Nunes on the bench, they're runners, they've got power, they've got energy, and I think that drop-off there was a big problem.
I think there's also the hunger bit and the fight bit and the intensity bit and the edge bit, but I also thought when Arsenal played through midfield, they played with more courage, they got on the half-turn, and they were braver actually in their play, particularly in the first half. I think the most disappointing thing for me, probably at the end of it all, I can understand a little bit of a drop-off sometimes when you sort of have that edge and you've been on a 15-game unbeaten run. What I think they'll be most disappointed with is they didn't have the courage to play through midfield, away from home and have authority on the ball. That's really disappointing.
But that was